Hello dear students, welcome to the tele classes on Business Studies and Management. Today we will read marketing mix and a portion of it. In my previous classes, we have discussed what is marketing mix and what are the various constituents or elements of marketing mix. I had covered product and now it is the time to read the second element, that is the price. So let us explore our journey on price coming under marketing mix. What is a price? It's a very important question. If I ask you what is a price, then everyone knows that every product has a price. Price is nothing but it is the exchange value in terms of money of a product or service which provides bundle of satisfaction to the customers. As we have already discussed in previous classes that a product is nothing but it is a bundle of utilities, isn't it? So, a bundle of utilities which is produced, which can be tangible, which can be intangible, and which is manufactured or produced for the purpose of satisfying the needs and demands of the customers. And when that bundle of utility is exchanged, then that is exchanged for something in return. Now, what is that something in return? You just imagined if you go to a shop to buy 1 kg of rice. What will you pay if you don't have money? If you don't have the price for the rice, then in exchange of rice, you will give something else. But this is a pure barter system. This will make the whole transaction very cumbersome. So, what is the solution to it? The solution is monetary value given to a product. So, this monetary value is your price. Price is one of the most important elements of marketing mix. You know why? Because of all the elements, it is the price which generates revenue, income, okay, for an organization and determines its growth. Already in my previous classes, we have discussed that marketing mix has got 4 elements: product, price, place, and promotion. Now, product, place, and promotion. In order to produce a product, you need to spend money. In order to make the goods move from the place of production to the place of consumption, from the producer to the ultimate consumer, you need to spend money. And in order to create awareness about your product, in order to make the product, the information about the product available to the customers, to the general public, again you need to spend money. Then where to get the money? It is the price of the product which you once determine goes to ultimately when the product is exchanged, it goes to the customer. Customer utilizes the bundle of utility and pays back the value of that utility that it has derived, or the satisfaction it has derived from that product. So, that is why we say that it is the only element in the marketing mix which generates revenue and it helps in the development, or it determines the growth of an organization. The term price denotes money value of a product. It represents the amount of money that customers pay to the seller to gain benefits of having or using a good or service. That means in order to utilize a product or avail a service, a customer is required to pay something to the seller, and that something is your price. So, price indicates the money value which a buyer is ready to exchange for purchase of certain goods or service. Now, let us read some of the definitions given by some people. According to Philip Kotler, price is the amount of money charged for a product or service. That means the amount of money you charge for a product or service that a seller charges, okay, that is called a price. According to Stanton, price is the amount of money needed to acquire some combination of goods and its services. That means when you buy the goods or any service or a combination of the two, then whatever amount you are required to pay to acquire that, to use that, it is called price. Pricing is the act of, we can say it's the act or it is the process of determining the price of a product. We say price is the exchange value and the process of determining the price is called pricing. So, pricing means the process of selecting the pricing objectives, determining the possible range of prices, developing pricing strategies, setting the final price and implementing and controlling pricing decisions. When I say pricing, it might be very easy to hear, but the process of pricing is not that easy. Dear students, it is very obvious, all of you know that in the competitive market where lots of competitors are there, lots of substitutes of the same product that a manufacturer is producing are available, it is very difficult to survive. And survival is, in many ways, it depends upon the price. Suppose I am producing a product, I am producing a pen, okay. There are several other producers who are also producing the pen. Then if I am selling a pen for rupees 10, other producers are also producing the same pen in rupees 10. Then how can I survive? How can I compete with the other competitors? That's where the question is. There are various other ways in which you can have an edge over your competitors, but amongst that, price also plays an important role. You can't just fix up price ऐसे ही, आप ऐसे नहीं fix up कर सकते. You just can't fix up the prices as the way you want. You need to see what? You need to see the objectives of pricing. Okay? You need to see the possible range of pricing. Because I am the manufacturer of a pen or any other product, I can't price it the way I want to. Okay? You need to develop certain strategies of pricing. Then you need to set up the final price, keeping in account various factors. And after that, you need to fix up the price of the product. So, price affects, why this is important? Because price affects the volume of production, sales and the amount of profit. It is solely the price. If the price is suitable for the consumer, then the consumer will buy it. If in a product, all other factors are suitable for the consumer to buy, but the product is a bit costlier, then the customer may or may not buy the product. So here, your product has everything, all the features that can very well satisfy a customer. But here, you are not able to fetch the market, you are not able to attract the customers because price is the major constraint. So, you have to keep this in mind that price affects the volume of production, because depending on the demand, production will be conducted, right? And obviously, it affects the sales and the amount of profit. Now, let us see what are the various objectives of pricing. Basically, we can categorize the objectives of pricing a product into three broad headings. One is profitability objective, the second one is public relations objectives, the third one is market related objectives. So, let us discuss it one by one. Profitability objectives. The basic objective of every business is to earn profit. Unless and until you earn profit, you can't survive for long. So, target rate of return on investment and the net sales. Whatever profit you earn, why it is important? Because it is important for the people, the stakeholders of the business. Those who are related to your business, they want something in return for whatever they are doing for your business. Be it the owner, be it the employees, be it the supplier, be it the financiers, whoever. Okay, whoever are associated with your business, they want something in return. And this profit is, we can say, is the return which they expect. So, if you want to earn a good amount of profit, accordingly you need to price your product. Okay, why is it so? Because you need to fix up the price of the product in such a way that you are able to take up your cost of production. एक चीज़ को बनाने के लिए कुछ कॉस्ट तो इनकर होता ही है. अभी अगर मैं एक प्रोडक्ट बनाने जाऊं तो उसको बनाने के लिए मुझे कुछ ना कुछ खर्च करना ही पड़ेगा. उनमें से कुछ खर्च फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट होंगे, कुछ वेरिएबल्स होंगे. So overall total cost, whatever I am producing, I should be able to sell the product at least at that price through which I can able to take out the cost of my production. So, if I am selling a product which is over and above the cost of the production of that particular product, then I can earn profit. And the second objective is profit maximization. First of all, you want to earn the profit because you want to survive, you want to give return to the people who are associated with your business. And second one is you want to earn profit because you want to maximize it, because profit is not only required for the survival, it is also required for your growth, the growth of the business. Okay. Second one is your public relations objectives. Why public relation objectives? There are certain kind of customers are of various kinds. There are some people who want to consume a product looking at the quality, and if the quality of the product is good, it cannot be sold at a very cheap price, because in order to produce a quality product, you must have spent or you must have incurred expenses in acquiring quality raw materials, and which will be obviously of a reasonable rate. So, if you are going to make a product of a good quality, of a proper quality, definitely the rate will be varying with that of the goods which are of inferior quality. So, if at all you are charging a price which is related directly to the quality of the product, it is going to enhance your image. That means you are not charging high, you are not charging low, the prices that you are charging is somewhat it is justifiable with the quality that you produce. So, in this way it is going to enhance the goodwill of yours, the reputation of yours. Take an example of certain companies, like you take an example of Tata. Take Tata as a company. Whatever goods or the services rendered by Tata are qualitative, and they are provided at a price which are affordable. So, whenever the company is launching something, some product or any kind of service, people have a notion, already built up notion in their mind, that the price is reasonable. Why? Because the company had been producing a product, which is qualitative and charging a reasonable price. So, if your pricing strategy is of that, you are having this objective in your mind that you want to build up a good public relation, then you have to fix up the price accordingly. Then comes market related objectives. What are market related objectives? Meeting or preventing competition in the market. This is very, very important. You see, as I have already told, when I am a producer of a particular product, my substitute products are also available in the market. That means there are several competitors of mine. They are also charging some prices. So, how will I be able to attract customers towards me? Because in my earlier classes, I have also emphasized that the objective of marketing is to attract the new customers as well as to retain the existing customers. So, you are required to price the product in such a way that you are having an edge over the competitors. Somewhat lesser price you are going to charge from the customers, which your competitors are charging higher, and you are somewhat lesser than what your competitors are charging. So, why? Because you want to prevent competition. Okay. Then comes maintaining or improving market share. If you are selling a product which is like lesser than the competitive products available, the prices of the competitive products available, and the product is of a good quality, then definitely people will go and they will buy, they will demand your product. Once they will start demanding your product, your customer base will improve, your market share will improve, will increase. So, if at all you want to increase your market share, then the pricing should be done accordingly, looking at the competitors in or keeping the competitors in mind. And then comes price stabilization. This is also important aspect. You see, if I am producing a product, okay, today I have been selling or I am selling the product, I am selling a biscuit packet at rupees 20. After a month, I will increase the prices to 25. Then after a month, I will increase. This cannot be done. Because if I am not maintaining stability in the prices, it is the customers who would be first getting affected by it. So whatever product you are producing and you're pricing, you need to price the product in such a way that all other environmental constraints, uncontrollable factors, the environmental variables that are not in your control can be taken into account. So keeping future in mind, you need to fix up a price in such a way that the prices will accommodate the future uncertainties also. Dear students, let us now discuss the importance of pricing. We would be discussing the importance of pricing for the firms and importance of pricing to consumers. Importance of pricing for the firms. Pricing is important for the firms because to determine the firm's competitive position and market share, it is important to achieve the financial goals of the company, as I have already discussed that in order to survive and for the growth, profit is required, and profit is dependent or is affected by the pricing of a product. To determine the quantum of production, this point is also being covered by me just now. To determine the product positioning and distribution in the market, the pricing of your product, as compared to the competitors' product in the market is going to position your product. That means if your product is sold at a reasonable rate than the competitor's product, then your product is going to be demanded by the customers. So you are going to position your product. Then for the long run survival of the firm, pricing is very, very important. Then comes importance of pricing to the consumers. Price is one of the important factors which affects the decision making. It is helpful in decision making on the part of the consumers. If two products are available, product A and product B, A being 10 rupees, B being 12 rupees, and both the quality of the product are same, then as a reasonable consumer, I will go for product A. So here pricing has helped me in taking the decision which product to choose. Help in satisfaction of needs. Different people have different choices, selection process, there may be various factors which affects them in selecting a product, price being one of the factors. Many of the people derive satisfaction from the prices, like they want to buy the product of a lower price. So it gives them satisfaction. Helps to determine the purchasing power. Purchasing power means with a given quantum of money, how much you are able to buy. If the product is of a lesser quality, then you can buy more with a given quantum of money, and if the prices of the product are too much high, then you can buy only lesser of it. And it also helps in determining the standard of living of the consumers in a way that if the product is sold at a price which is affordable to the consumers, then they will start consuming it. Their standard of living will improve. So for that reason, pricing of a product, correct pricing of a product or reasonable pricing of the product is very, very important. And if standard of living is going to improve, it helps in the enhancement in social welfare. That means the standard of living of the people is improving, their condition is improving, and when the company which is earning a reasonable amount of profit because of reasonable pricing, is able to spend some amount of money for the social welfare activities. So these are the importances of pricing. Now let us discuss the strategies, the pricing strategies. What do you mean by a pricing strategy? A pricing strategy takes into account segments, ability to pay, market conditions, competitors' actions, trade margins and input cost amongst other. It is targeted at the defined customers and against competitors. That means you are going to target certain customers and you are going to have an edge over your competitors. So keeping this in your mind, you need to fix up a strategy, pricing strategy of your product. This strategy is combined with the other market or marketing pricing strategies like place, promotion and product. You need to also keep a track on these three elements of the marketing mix, and because these three are also to be taken into account when you are going to price a particular product. Okay? The economic pattern of the country, the competition, the market demand, and finally the product characteristics. Keeping the quality of the product, price should also be fixed. So keeping everything in mind, you need to fix up a price. So let us discuss these strategies one by one. First pricing strategy is penetration pricing. Penetration मतलब अंदर घुसना, penetrate करना, अंदर घुसना. तो इस strategy का क्या मतलब है? Here the organization sets a low price of the product initially. That means when the product is launched or introduced in the market, it is introduced at a lower price initially, okay, to increase sales and the market share. And once people get accustomed to it, okay, then once they are demanding the product, then slowly and steadily the company will increase the price. Take the example of Maggi. Then come skimming pricing. The organization sets an initial high price and then slowly lowers it. It is just the opposite of the penetration. Here, initially the company will set up a price at a higher rate, and slowly and steadily, when it becomes a symbol of good quality or sophistication, people want to use that product, then slowly and steadily the prices get reduced. Take example, Apple company. Apple, the product of Apple. Differential pricing strategy. In this pricing strategy, a company has to adjust the pricing based on various situations or circumstances. The prices variations comes in different forms, like discounts or coupons. Like some customer will have to pay more, some customers will have to pay less. Like if you have a coupon, you can redeem the coupon and pay less. If you don't have the coupon for the same product, you have to pay more. So different prices from different customers. Then competition pricing. What is competition pricing? Setting a price in comparison with the competitors. The price can be higher, the price can be equal, the price can be lower. Take example of McDonald's and Burger King. Same burger, the prices will be different. Keeping what the competitor is fixing, you have to fix up your own price. Then comes product line pricing. Here, pricing the products are priced or pricing different products with the same product range at a different pricing options. That means a product line with different prices. That is called product line pricing. Take all the products of Johnson & Johnson. Then comes bundle pricing. What is this bundle pricing? The organization bundles a group of product together, okay, at a reduced price. The common method is buy one and get one free. Like if you go to McDonald's or you go to KFC, then a bunch of the product like a cold drink and some fries and some burger, together you get at a price, and if individually you are going to buy, that will be, the pricing will be somewhat different. Then comes psychological pricing. This is the most interesting pricing, I feel. The seller here will hitting your psychology. Like I will not say give me 100 rupees, the product is not 100 rupees, it is just 99. The product is not 1000 rupees, it is just 999. So here the seller is hitting your mind, okay. Then comes one price policy. As the name indicates, a one price policy is a strategy in which seller offers the same price to every customer, okay. With one price policy, customers cannot negotiate the price. That means if you go to buy a cold drink that the pictures of which are displayed here, okay, even if you buy a Coca-Cola or a Fanta or a Coca-Cola of a different flavor, the rate of the can will be the same. You buy whichever flavor you want to, price will not change, or you can't even negotiate कि भैया 10 का है मुझे 5 में दे दो. You can't just negotiate with the prices. Then comes promotional pricing strategies. Promotional pricing is when a seller reduces the price of a product or service just to attract. Like New Year is coming, so it's buy one or get one free, save 20% off today, or it's a Christmas Eve, come and buy and get 20% discount only for today. So this is called promotional pricing strategy. Then comes discount pricing. This is also a very interesting strategy which every customer fall a trap of. Business use discount pricing to sell low price products in high volume. This is simply, a sales, in order to increase the sales for a shorter period of time, the seller reduces the pricing. Like 70% off, 80% off, come and buy. So these are called discount pricing strategy. Now, after having this, let us discuss What are the factors which affects the pricing determination? The objectives of the organization. If your objective is to maximize the sales, whichever pricing strategy suits you, you can use it. The marketing mix. Price must complement the other elements of marketing mix. Cost. You must fix up the price of the product at such a way that the cost of production is recovered. And finally, you must fix a price in which you are having an edge over your competitors. One more element of marketing mix, that is place. In my previous classes, we have discussed two elements of marketing mix, namely product and price. Today we will discuss one more element, that is place. Now what is this place? If I say place, jagah, yeah, what it has to do with marketing mix? In the marketing mix, the process of moving the products from the producer to the intended user is called place. In other words, it is how your product is bought and where it is bought. Okay, let me ask you a simple question. When a product is produced, it is produced somewhere else, not necessarily in an area where you stay, but you consume it at a place near your doorstep. सामान जो है प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है एक जगह, आप कंज्यूम कर रहे हो अपने घर के पास, अपने घर में कंज्यूम कर रहे हो, घर के पास में जो दुकान है वहाँ से खरीद के आप उसे कंज्यूम कर रहे हो. तो ये सामान जो है वो प्लेस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन से आप तक जो पहुँचता है, इसे हम कहते हैं, इस मूवमेंट को हम कहेंगे प्लेस. दिस इज व्हाट प्लेस फैसिलिटेट्स. प्लेस is nothing but it is an we can say it is combination of two basic activities, physical distribution and channels of distribution, which helps to move the product from the producer to the ultimate consumer. It is concerned with making the goods and services available at the right place so that people can purchase the same. There are two important decisions relating to this aspect. One, regarding physical movement of goods from producer to consumer. Like good is physically moving from the producer to the consumer, okay, or the users you can say. And the second one is regarding the channels or using intermediaries in the distribution process. Like for movement of goods, you need people, and for movement of goods, you need other things also. When a producer is producing the product, he is not producing in one or two quantity, he is producing in a larger quantity. Once he is producing the product, have you ever given a thought where he is keeping all these things? So he need a warehouse. Is the producer directly contacting the customer? वो चाहे तो directly customer को contact कर सकता है, अगर चाहे तो नहीं भी कर सकता. अगर वो directly customer को contact नहीं कर रहा तो customer तक सामान कैसे पहुंच रहा है? All these things we will cover in today's class. So we would be dividing place into two broad categories. One is channel of distribution and the other one is physical movement. What is this channel of distribution? Channels of distribution smoothen the flow of goods by creating position, place and time utilities. Like you have got, let me just explain this to you. You have got the producer here, right? He is producing a product. For example, he is producing a perishable good. He is producing a product जो perishable है, यानी कि जल्दी the life period is less और या फिर वो जल्दी नष्ट हो जाता है. दूध हो गया, fresh vegetables हो गए, ठीक है, milk products हो गया. Producer जो है उसको produce कर रहा है. Here we are. Okay. Now, if I am producing a good which is perishable in nature, what would you suggest? Shall I sell, if I am the producer, shall I sell directly to you or shall I need people to distribute? Depends. But normally, अगर थोड़ा सा हम सोचें तो पेरिशेबल गुड है मतलब मुझे डायरेक्टली सेल करना चाहिए, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर मैं भी नॉन पेरिशेबल गुड की बात कर रही हूँ, ग्रेन्स है, फूड ग्रेन्स है, फूड आइटम्स हैं, क्लोथिंग्स हैं, आपके पढ़ाई के सामान, एक्सेसरीज हैं, जितने भी आप कमोडिटीज़ ले लीजिए जो कि नॉन पेरिशेबल है, जो हमने प्रीवियस क्लासेस में पढ़े हुए हैं, ड्यूरेबल गुड्स हैं, ठीक है। यू आर द प्रोड्यूसर ऑफ द गुड, यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग इन अ वेरी लार्जर क्वांटिटी and you are producing continuously. So where you are going to keep those goods? This producer is at a place which is, suppose this producer is in Jammu and Kashmir and this person is in say Kerala, okay. So what am I going to do? How the goods will move from this place to this place? The consumer is here, the producer is here. You need people, you need some intermediaries who are the linking pins between the producer and the consumers. So basically there are two linking pins, one is your wholesaler, the other one is your retailer. Wholesaler is an intermediary who buys the goods in a larger quantity from the producer and sells it to the retailer. He hardly comes in contact with the consumers. And who is the retailer? Retailer is an intermediary who buys goods in a smaller quantity from the wholesaler and sells it to the consumers or the ultimate consumers. So this is a wholesaler, this is a retailer. Who is a wholesaler? Wholesaler is a person who buys goods in a larger quantity from the producer and sells in a smaller quantity to the retailer. Who is a retailer? He is also an intermediary or a channel of distribution who buys goods in a smaller quantity from the wholesaler and sells in a very small quantity to the consumers. So you see, the constraint of distance is taken care and handled by the involvement of two channels of distribution, okay. And since these two elements, these two intermediaries are present, the product is available timely at your doorstep. At any time, at any quantity, anywhere you are, you can buy the goods only by involving these two. Now, if at all you want to add, you can add agents in between. So this movement of goods, the movement of goods from the producer to the ultimate consumer is nothing but your place. So place facilitates the movement of goods from the producer to the ultimate consumers. So they facilitate the movement of goods by overcoming various time, place and position barriers that exists between manufacturers and the consumers. Now these types, let us discuss the types of channels. As I have discussed, when the producer is directly selling the goods to consumer, that becomes the direct channel of distribution. And when the intermediaries are in between, then we say it is indirect distribution channel. Why indirect? Because producer is not coming in direct contact with the consumer. Now this can be of three levels. In one level, if you can see, one level includes manufacturer or producer, retailer and consumer. There is no wholesaler in between. In two levels, there is manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer and then consumer, okay. And in the third level or the three level, there is an agent in between. That means in between the manufacturer and wholesaler, there is one more intermediary who is known as your agent, okay. And then, so how the movement will occur? The movement will occur from producer to wholesaler, to retailer, to consumer. If there is an agent, then producer, agent, wholesaler, retailer and then consumers. So this is all about the channels of distribution. What is physical distribution? Physical distribution covers all the actions required to physically move the goods from manufacturer to the consumer. Now physically when you move the goods, whatever facilities you require are coming, or that can be clubbed under physical distribution. Vital activities involved in physical distribution includes transportation, warehousing, material handling and inventory control. You just give a thought, when the producer is producing, he needs a warehouse to store. When the wholesaler is buying the product, he needs transportation to move the goods from the place of producer to his own godown. He also needs, in a way, he also needs warehouse. When the retailer is buying the goods from the wholesaler, even in a smaller quantity, he also needs transportation for the movement of goods and also a warehouse to store. And once the goods are kept in the warehouse, it has to be managed. So there is a concept of controlling the inventory. So all these things clubbed together is nothing but your physical distribution. So physical distribution is the group of activities associated with supply of finished goods from the production line to consumers. It is assembly of activities linked with the supply of finished products from the production line to the customers. We can also say, once goods are manufactured, packed, branded, priced, promoted, these must be made obtainable to the consumers at the correct place and in exact quantity and at accurate time. And all these things are facilitated by the place, or we say the combination of channels of distribution and physical distribution. Then we would be discussing the key elements. This is the key elements of your channels of your place. That means movement of the goods from the producer to the ultimate consumers. Where we would be discussing the functions of the physical distribution process. First one comes transportation and logistic. That means transportation plays a very, very important role, because for the physical movement of goods from the place of production, that is from the producer to the wholesaler, and then from the wholesaler to the retailer, and then from the retailer sometimes for providing the delivery or we say home delivery or delivery to the doorstep of the consumer, you need transportation. So this function deals with the procurement of raw materials from the suppliers and final delivery of the finished products to the end consumers. The mode of transport used may depend on the type of product. Obviously, if the product is fragile, like ऐसा है कि easily टूट जाएगा, then the mode of transportation used will be different. Then if it is very much strong, then you can use different mode of transportation. Like if you are going to transport the irons or the coal, then truck is not feasible. Movement through railway is feasible. If you are going to transport glass materials made up of glass or other fragile materials, products which are made up of fragile materials, then carrying them through or transporting them through railway or truck will not be possible. Rather, using of airways will be feasible. Okay? And it also depends, the usage of the transportation also depends upon the urgency of the order. Like if the raw materials or the finished products are required to be moved today, then that mode of transportation should be used, which will help in speedy delivery of the various modes of transportation, keeping these two factors, that means the type of or the nature of the product and then the urgency of the delivery of the product to the consumer or to the intermediaries, the usage or the mode of transportation will differ. Then comes packaging. Packaging function is concerned with the type of packaging. In my previous classes, we have discussed about packaging and we have read that there are three kinds of packaging: primary, secondary and tertiary. Tertiary means in order to carry the goods in a lump sum, you want to carry the goods in a larger quantity from one place to another place, then in order to carry them, you need to you need to keep all the goods in one carton or any other box, so that transportation can be facilitated. So this is called your packaging. So packaging function is concerned with the type of packaging used for the product, depending on the type of the product and degree of protection required for these product. That means if the product is something exposure to the air or moisture can harm the product, then accordingly packaging should be made in an airtight container. So depending on the nature of the product again and the protection it requires, Like you can carry material made up of iron or steel in any modes of transportation, but carrying of materials which are fragile or which are perishable, depending upon them, packaging differs. Then comes customer service. The main function of customer service personnel is to set a standard for customer satisfaction that must be ensured while delivering the product. Many a times people buy a particular product looking at the services that is available after the sale, which is popularly known as the after sale services. So customer service also plays an important role, or which affects the decision on the part of the consumers in buying a product. So it is important, the main function of the customer service personnel is to set a standard for customer satisfaction that must be ensured while delivering a product to the consumer, and then ensuring that the standard is maintained. That means the customer service personnel will take care that once the product is delivered, the services are maintained, qualitative services are rendered to them. The next element is order processing. Order processing deals with taking orders from the customers efficiently. Next one is inventory control. Inventory control plays a major role in distribution function of a firm, because the goods which are produced, it is a fact that the goods are produced, there are some goods which are produced continuously and there are some goods which are produced seasonally. Those goods or those products, the production of which is continuous in nature, are to be stored. And when the concept of storing of product comes, the concept of inventory control comes into existence. Okay? So inventory control plays a major role in the distribution function of a firm. Costs include inventory, in the inventory control, the carrying cost, the depreciation of the goods which you are storing. All these things are to be taken care of when you are talking about physical distribution of the goods. Now let us discuss the various factors which affects the choice of distribution. Like we have discussed that the goods, in order to move it from the producer to the ultimate consumers, either there can be a direct channel or there can be an indirect channel. Now how to decide whether to use a direct channel of distribution or indirect channel of distribution? That means the producer should directly sell the goods to the consumers, or he should be allowing the intermediaries in between. So we would be discussing, or we can divide the factors affecting the choice of distribution into 4 categories or 4 broad headings. Factors pertaining to the product, factors pertaining to the consumer or the market, factors pertaining to the middlemen, and the factors pertaining to the producer or the company. Let us discuss it one by one. Factors pertaining to the product. One is the price of the product. If the product is of a lower price, long chain of distribution is possible, because when the product you are producing is already of a cost which is comparatively higher, and you are involving wholesaler and retailer in between, then their commission will also get added up to the price of the product, and ultimately it is the consumer who will have to pay more. So साफ बात ये है, अगर product ज़्यादा costly है तो go for a short channel of distribution or direct channel, and if the price of the product is of a lower, it's lower price, then you can go for a longer channel of distribution. Perishability. Perishability means if the product is of a nature which will easily get destroyed, then going for a longer chain. Longer chain का मतलब है कि producer, agent, wholesaler, retailer और consumer. उससे छोटा हुआ तो producer, wholesaler, retailer और customer. ठीक है? तो अगर पेरिशेबल प्रोडक्ट है, वो जल्दी खराब हो जाने वाला प्रोडक्ट है, तो उसमें एजेंट्स घुसेड़ने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. प्रोड्यूसर जो है उस वक्त डायरेक्टली उसको गुड सेल करना चाहिए कंज्यूमर्स को. करेक्ट. देन कम्स साइज एंड वेट. द साइज एंड वेट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट्स टू अफेक्ट्स द सिलेक्शन ऑफ द मिडलमैन. Generally, heavy industrial goods are distributed by the producers themselves to the industrial consumers because they are very heavy. The loading and unloading may cause damage to the product, so they are directly sold by the producer to the ultimate consumers. Then technical nature. Some products are of the nature that prior to their selling, the consumer is required to be given proper instructions with regard to its consumptions. If such is the case, then less middlemen should be required. यानी कि एक प्रोडक्ट जिसने उसको तैयार किया है, एक प्रोडक्ट ऐसा है जिस पर टेक्निकल यूसेज ज़्यादा है, अगर उसे हम होलसेलर और रिटेलर के थ्रू में उसको बेचते हैं, कंज्यूमर को कल को कोई प्रॉब्लम होता है तो वो किसे बोलेगा? पहले वो रिटेलर को बोलेगा, फिर रिटेलर होलसेलर को बोलेगा, फिर होलसेलर जो है वो प्रोड्यूसर को बोलेगा. तो क्यों ना डायरेक्टली प्रोड्यूसर उसको सेल करे? सो इफ the product is of a technical nature, we should go for a direct channel of distribution. After sale service. The product regarding which the after sale service is to be provided could be sold off either personally or through authorized agents. That means directly, better it is to be sold directly, because after sale services are to be provided by the person who has manufactured it. Then comes factors pertaining to the consumer or the market. Number of customers. If the number of customers are large, definitely the services of the middleman have to be sought for. ज़्यादा consumers हैं तो producer अकेला handle नहीं कर सकता. So there is need of wholesalers and retailers. Size of the order. When bulk supply orders are received from the consumers, the producer himself can take up the responsibility for supply of goods. Okay? If the order are received piecemeal or in small quantities, for the services of the wholesaler could be sought of. Then comes objectives of purchase. If the product is being purchased for the industrial use, direct sale is good. Okay? As against if the products are being purchased for general consumption. Then comes need of the credit facilities. If for the sale of any product it becomes necessary that credit should be granted to the customer, it shall be helpful for the producer that for its distribution the services of wholesalers and retailers must be there, and vice versa. Then comes factors pertaining to the middleman. Services provided by the middleman. The selection of the middleman is made keeping in view the services it provides. Then comes the attitude or the agents required the producers the attitude of the agents toward the producers policy. हर एक producer का अपना policies होता है. अगर wholesaler और retailer उस policy से agree करते हैं, then selling the goods through them is good. If not, then the producer should directly sell the goods. Then cost of channels of distribution, because the wholesalers and retailers, in between, if you add, the cost of the distribution increases. So depending on the cost, you have to decide whether you want to go for a direct or indirect. Then comes factors pertaining to producer or company. From the company's point of view, level of production. The manufacturers who are financially sound and are of larger category are able to appoint the sales representative. As against it, for the smaller manufacturer, it becomes necessary to procure the services of the wholesalers and the retailers. That means level of production बहुत ज़्यादा है. The company is financially sound, then it can go for appointing its own salesperson and distributing the goods by itself. On the contrary, if the level of production is less and the financial condition is not so good, that means he cannot recruit the agents by himself, the company cannot recruit the agents by itself, then it is better that it should go for wholesalers and retailers who would be taking up the responsibility of distribution of goods. And then financial resources of the company. From the financial point of view, the stronger company needs less middlemen, and vice versa. And the last one is managerial competence and experience. If some producer lacks in the necessary managerial experience or proficiencies, he will depend more on the middleman. It depends upon the proficiency of the producer, because apart from producing, if he is having managerial efficiency, he can go for distributing the goods by himself, or else he would take the help of the middlemen, the wholesalers and the retailers. So dear students, if we are going to sum up what we have read today is the process of flowing of the goods from the producer or manufacturer to the ultimate consumers. We read that in order to make the goods available or to move the goods from the producer to the ultimate consumers, either the producer can directly sell or he needs intermediaries. These intermediaries plays a very important role. There are two basic intermediaries. One is your wholesaler, the other one is your retailer. Wholesaler is a person who serves as a linking pin between the producer and the retailer. And retailer is again an important intermediary or channel of distribution who serves as a link between the wholesaler and the consumers. He is the person who comes in direct contact with the consumers. The place plays a very important role because of the involvement of various factors that we have read. The physical distribution, the channels of distribution, both should be taken into account in order to make the goods flow smoothly from the place of production to the place of consumption. Because we, the consumers, are sitting at our place and getting whatever we want at any point of time, at any given quantity. It is only because of this mix or this element of marketing mix, this very facility is available to us. So, I would like to conclude my session here. Thank you.